Aloha everyone and welcome back to the CO2 Rundown. I'm your host, Chad Owens. Woo-hoo-hoo, it's a Monday. Look, I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween weekend, a fun-filled Halloween. I had a really good time. Like I said, I enjoy Halloween. I enjoy getting creative. And the next, I guess, when we get into this thing, I'm gonna have some photos for you guys that you guys can check out to see what I got into this year for Halloween. But anyway, look, lots to talk about in sports. Exciting. I got my guy Stephen Tsai back joining us today. We're gonna talk UH Rainbow Warrior football. And so, look, like we always do, let's dive on in to the CO2 Rundown. And like I said, all right, Halloween, they say Christmas, it's the best time of the year. And yeah, we all look forward to Christmas, but I love Halloween because I got a creative side to me. You know, you guys saw last year, the Soul Collector. Anyway, look, I'm a huge Venom fan. And ever since that movie came out, I'm like, man, I think I'm Venom. I think that's like my alter ego if it's a superhero. So this year I was Venom. And I want you guys to take a look at some of these clips and pictures of what your boy did and got into this Halloween. Check it out. What do you think? What do you think? Hey, that's sort of Hollywood-ish. Yep, done all by myself, my own creative. It's just, I love it. I love challenging myself mentally like that and tapping into my creative side. And Halloween does that for me. Maybe I'll tap into some of that, you know, some of the other holidays. Maybe I'll get a little creative this coming Christmas. Sorry, I know Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We're not gonna skip that. But anyway, look, let's move on. This is the last segment that I'm gonna have my Halloween decor up. we're skipping beats here. We're gonna move on to the fall festivities. Let's go. New week, new opportunity. And I'm talking about football fever. All right, so go get yourself a football fever ballot in today's Honolulu Star-Advertiser newspaper. Fill it out, get your picks. Be careful though. All right, there's been some trades happening that we're gonna talk about, one big one in particular. So make sure you're up to date, right, with your football, with your teams, and be in the know. And if you're following us here on the CO2 Rundown, that could help you out a little bit. But anyway, look, shout out to our football fever sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Hawaiian Telecom, and Long's Drugs for making it possible. Fill that thing out, turn it in by Wednesday to select Long's Drugs, and you give yourself a chance to win a grand prize at the end, a big green egg Kamado grill. Ooh, could use that. Anyway, look, that's it for Football Fever. Thanks again. Let's go. Man, the Astros, they showed up, forcing a Game 6 in this year's World Series. The Braves now lead 3-2. It's going to be interesting, man. I was calling a sweep because I was just hoping, you know, the Atlanta Braves would get it done. But in championship games, in championship series, who doesn't want a 7-game series? So you know what? I want this thing to go to 7 games just for the excitement. Because that's what sports is supposed to do for you. It's supposed to keep you on your toes, get you on the edge of your seat, right? the intensity, the suspense, the oohs, the ahs, the big plays, the home runs, which there's been a lot of this playoffs. It's been wild. All right, the hitters are getting that much better, but the pitchers are also that much more skilled. And so it's been a great World Series so far. I'm not so sure who you're rooting for. Your team might not even be in the World Series, but it doesn't matter. If you're a baseball fan, you got to be loving this battle that's going on right now. So make sure you guys tap in, tune in. Game 6, I'm going to be all eyes on the tube. Pulling for the Braves, but I ain't going to be upset if there's a Game 7. All right, in the NFL, there's been the two biggest stories right now is the trade of Von Miller, right? Pro Bowler of the Denver Broncos. He's being traded to the Rams for a second and third round 2022 draft pick. And for Von Miller, it's, hey, this is where he spent his career, man. This is where he made his hay. This is where he's dedicated and poured out so much of his heart, soul, passion, blood, sweat, tears, everything into that community. And, I guess every player, according to an organization, has an expiration date. Young athletes, this is why I harp on it so much. It doesn't matter how much you accomplish, how much you get in the sports world. Someone's putting an expiration tag on what they think you can do. Right? And it's tough. I've been there, and it's been it's an emotional one for Von Miller. But on the flip side, he's going to a Rams team that's a playoff-bound team, Super Bowl contending team. And now with him on that edge, look, man, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, are you kidding me? Enough said. That team just elevated themselves. And so, yeah, the initial shock for Von Miller is probably it's an emotional one. But once he gets settled and the new fire starts to burn and he realizes the situation he's in, I'd say he's going to take off. So that's what's on the trade block. But, man, this one I hate talking about. Injuries. And this guy's been having himself an all-pro, all-career, Hall of Fame type season. Titans running back Derrick Henry might be done for the season with a apparent foot injury. And it's a foot injury that I had. And this is what pretty much ended my career. A Jones fracture. Right? It's so if this is your foot, you have this metatarsal right here. You have your pinky toe. I'm using it as my toe. And then that bone right there, right? Your metatarsals, all these bones. That thing breaks. And the problem with that area, number one, you're always on it, right? You're always on your feet. 2, there's not a lot of blood supply that gets to that area. So bones need blood to heal. And Derrick Henry's a big body. He puts a lot of force through that foot to run, to make cuts. And man, I pray it is not the case. But when these things arise like this, for the most part, it is what it is. But hey, he's in the NFL. They got the best doctors, best surgeons, best treatment, best everything. It's not a career ender for Derrick Henry, but it is and could be, and if it is, most likely will be a potential season-ending injury. And it's sad, man, because he was literally his own train, on his own train tracks, and anything that stood in his way, was getting ran through. And that Titans offense, that team feeds off of that, feeds off of his energy and his dominance. And, man, if they lost that train, hopefully there's a guy that can step in. But, man, that's all I got for the NFL. Tough news, hard news to deliver. But there's always a brighter light on the end of that tunnel and on the other side. So, good luck, guys. ILH football, St. Louis did it. Right? They defeated Kamehameha 41-7. Wow. Yeah. They had something to prove. Forcing a true championship game. Right? This week, it's on. Both teams, one last time for the crown. And it's going to be an exciting one. You know, in losses, right? In football games, when you lose, there's so much that you can achieve from that. You go to the film room, you watch, and you dissect everything because you lost the game. So you obviously didn't play to your full potential, whether it was penalties, disciplinary things, turnovers, right? Not executing. Injuries can cause some of that stuff too. But it allows an opportunity for growth. And that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited to see. Look at St. Louis, right? They lost. They went. So they had to go back and learn, reconfigure that thing, right? And they grew. And look at what happened. So I think we are preparing for one heck of an LA championship. Good luck to both teams. All right, it's that time. My guy, Stephen Tsai, the sports guru, is joining us today on in the Steel 2 Rundown. Excuse me, I'm just getting excited. We're going to talk about UH football, where they stand, where they're going, what needs to be done to close out this season, right? What a possible bowl, winning season, all these things. So without further ado, let's check this out. Okay, I got my guy, Stephen Tsai, the sports guru. And hey, Steve, I'm just excited, man. I'm over here kicking the tripod, trying to get it right. I'm excited, man. How you doing?
Excited too. Good. It's great Monday. Did you have a nice Halloween?
Oh, I sure did. Wait till you see my costume. I'm gonna post a little bit on the rundown here. You're gonna see some photos, but it was a good one. I enjoy Halloween.
I went what I always go as. I went as a nerd. It's perfect. It's my everyday outfit.
Nah, man, you smart, Steve. I love your nerdiness. Anyway, look, man, let's dive right into this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior football, man. First of all, let me just say that I'm excited because we haven't spoken since it happened. I'm excited that fans are back.
Right? I'm excited too. I'm a little saddened because when they first had this plan going, they were gonna redo Ching Field, and they were gonna, they had a great plan for the whole season. I'm sad they didn't get to do the whole thing. I'm sad now because it's a little bit late in the game that they have to scramble to get out the tickets. Some people, like parents, couldn't make plans to get out in time because they just didn't know. And so it's a little bit tough. But hey, it should be a full house. They haven't had that on campus. It's gonna be great. And the weird thing about it is the team stays overnight on Friday night. They stay at the hotel, so the team will actually be busing on the campus for the home game, which is kind of ironic. I never use ironic, right? But it's gonna be kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, and you know what? It is what it is, Stephen. I think back and I thought about the whole situation, and a year ago we just wanted football, right?
Yeah.
High school level, we just wanted sports, and so when our UH sports, okay, we were back going, we had the plan, things happen. But I think we can just be happy and be grateful for what we have now and look forward to what it's gonna be. So I think we got the November 3rd, a couple of days, 100% capacity, indoor, outdoor events. So although football season, we've got just one more home game.
Two more, San Diego State,
two more,
Colorado State.
San Diego State, that's right. So we got two more, and man, look, it is gonna be. They're gonna make the best of it. It is gonna be exciting. And I cannot wait. And so, that's exciting news. But the news I want to talk to you about, Stephen, more importantly, is moving forward the season, finishing as a winning season, having an opportunity to make it to a bowl game still. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I know it's tough. They always start with ultimate goals. Ultimate goal is you go undefeated. You're playing Alabama for the championship. Alabama's not living up to its part, so that's part of the problem. And then you start lowering the things, and you will go, okay, you want to go undefeated in the conference, and you want to win your division, and you want to play in the championship game. Well, they had a shot. It's kind of a long shot, but if they had won their five remaining games, starting with last week's game against Utah State, there was a shot, especially since Fresno State ended up being San Diego State. Hawaii's already beaten Fresno State, so I mean, there's just a lot of scenarios we're pointing to things being good if Hawaii had done well against Utah State. Didn't happen. Now you got to reset the goals again. Now the goals is there are 4 games left. You got to win 3 of them to have a winning season. If you have a winning season, you're playing you're bowl eligible, and you know where you're gonna play that bowl game? Right back at Ching. So things could work out, but it all starts with you got to win. You got to win a game.
That's it.
I don't care if it's I don't care in front of every fans or no fans. You got to win a game.
Fans or no fans, you got to win the ball game. Steve, you hit it on the head. And yeah, I was a little, I was a little down, man, because we had Shevin back. Shevin played well, and I, I think I felt like Utah State is a game it's a team we should beat. It's a team we should beat. That's what I feel, and especially knowing what's at stake. There's just, and it was a sort of a tight game for the most part, and then they just kind of ran away with it. But in your eyes, what was the difference in that ball game? What was the main difference?
Well, I think
why we went the loss.
Well, I think the problem is with Hawaii. Hawaii's got to start off fast, especially on the road, especially in altitude. And you got to admit that Utah State played it right. They put their student section in Halloween costume. They might not have slept the entire night because they had a huge party night before. They put their fans right behind the UH bench. I don't know if that's legal or not, but it was great tactic because their whole game they're yelling and they're as much as Utah State guys can heckle, they were heckling, and it was just a great experience actually for the players and the fans because it was great interaction and everything. But you got to start off on the road in altitude. You've got to start off strong. Didn't. That took away the running game, which is already a little bit shorthanded because Day Hunter, his best runner, wasn't available. He's had some issues. Yep. So when you shorthand that way and you're flying behind, and you have to give up the running game, you have to pass. Shevin was good. He's very accurate. He's very good. He's a great leader, and he's a great running threat. But he hadn't played in 4 weeks. He missed 3 games, but there's a bye in there. 4 weeks. It's a little bit different when you feel good in practice, when you feel good in warm-ups, but it's a little different when you're actually in the game competition. It goes back to the game. It's really fast. It's a lot faster in practice. Your scouts give a great look, but they don't look like a Utah State on a Saturday night. So I think that was a little bit of a problem. And one of the things that Hawaii just hasn't been able to do, which they used to do really well, is they used to dominate special teams. I'm not just saying matching up or anything. They used to dominate. They haven't dominated this year in special teams. I think I know that they have the talent for it. They have the coaching for it. It's just they got to put together, because that's one of those things where if Hawaii can dominate in that third phase, when you can talk about the hitting yardage and things like that, field position, they do that, they can get back in a winning streak.
Yeah, and that was one of my specialties, right? And not just as a returner by itself, but just the whole special teams unit, the punt team, right? The coverage teams. It needs to be a point of emphasis. And yeah, it could be the X factor. It could be the thing that when it's the third part of the game. If your offense is struggling a little bit, you can do something on the special team side to sort of counter that. Defense is struggling, special teams can help out. So it's complementary football, right? You don't have to dominate all 3 phases. You want to win 2 out of the 3. That's always the goal, Stephen. You want to win 2 out of the 3 phases. And, complementary football goes a long way. You protect the punter well. You punt that ball, you pin them deep, right? Defense comes out excited, gets a 3 and out, forces a punt. Punt return unit comes out, either gets a block punt, right, or a big punt return. That's complementary football. And you only have to have that happen a couple times throughout the game, because, football is a game of momentum swings. So we get that complementary football at the start of the game, which is crucial because we want to start fast, start the half, or when you've lost the momentum, those things come up, boom, momentum back on your side. So we have to be able to implement those things. And yeah, special teams is part of the game. It needs to be as much emphasis as your offense and as your defense, if not more.
Right, and one of the worst things that happen in it, a lot of times, maybe you punt out of bounds, you kick, or things can happen. There can be breakdowns, big yard. But what you can't do is, if you're trying to get an onside kick, if you're making the onside kick, that's your decision. Okay, if you don't recover it, that's okay. It's a little risky, but that's okay. But you can't let a team return an onside kick for a touchdown. I've never heard of that. 45 yards. The guy picks up a onside kick, goes 45 yards the other way. That's a backbreaker. I mean, that's one of those things where, yeah, it's a risky strategy anyway. It's a risky because you could not gain possession in midfield, but to allow a touchdown on that play, that's a little tough. Well, that's a bad break. That's called a bad break.
Yeah, and it is, and you know, it happens. But what you know what that is? You know what that's a result of? That's a result of a Utah State player playing every play, taking advantage of that play, no fear, right? Like it's an offensive play because we're receiving the ball. I'm going to make the most of this play, right? That's someone who maybe he's a special teams guy only, and he's like, this is what I do. I am going to do this to the best of my ability because this is my assignment, right? So even on that play, Stephen, on the onside kick, every player has got an assignment. It's not, hey, go recover the football. There's guys that are, you know, assigned. Okay, you got to go take him out. You go take him out. You go block him. You shield him. You're the recovery guy. But hey, as you're running to do your job, if the ball is right there and it's past 10 yards, yeah, hey, the number one goal is to recover the football. But we got to attack, right? The onside kick unit, that's a play that is repped over and over and over and over again. You know, it's something that has to be a skill. Teams are starting to use it as a skill. It's a play, right? So you can't just treat it as, let's hope we get this ball. Let's hope they muff it. Let's hope we get the good bounce. You practice it and you drill it, right? And so everything has, you know, Deion Sanders, he posted something a few, like maybe 3 weeks ago on his Instagram. And he talked about purpose, Stephen. He talked about guys, and I guess he was just referencing as a whole. Guys don't practice with purpose these days. What does that mean? Well, you're saving it for game day. You can't just go out there and practice and like, lollygag around and like, and I'm not saying this is the case, Steve. I'm just speaking out because this, like, I saw this, you know, I saw this post by Prime and I was like, wow, that's true. Like you have to practice with purpose. If you're just out there going through the motions, trying to save it, you know what, game day, I'll go full speed on that. Game day, I'll recover that. Game day, I'll make that catch. Game day, you're not practicing with purpose. The purpose of your practice is to compete, is to get better, is to be better in that day's practice than you were yesterday. If every single day of the week you got a little bit better, what are you doing right there? You're creating a trend going like this, Stephen. And what do you think is going to happen on game day? You think you're going to be worse or better than the day before? You're going to be better because you've created that system, that routine, that sort of habit, right? And game days, it's another day. It's another day, and the juices are flowing that much more. The intensity is that much higher. But the purpose of every single day, it shouldn't be practice versus game day. It should be intent. I am going to win. I'm going to win this rep. I'm going to be the best on this play each and every day. That's the difference. And that was awesome from Prime.
Yeah. Well, I would give Hawaii credit on this. Todd Graham controls a lot of different things. He's overseeing special teams, defense. He's involved in everything. Kind of like how June was when June used to kind of run the offense, but he knew what the defense was doing on the other side of the field. Todd Graham is actually, when they're doing defensive drills against the scout team, he's actually coaching the scout team and the starting defensive guys. So he's very involved. He's really on them. He's hard on them. He's very tough on his players during practices. Because again, like you were talking about, like what Primetime is talking about, is you do that because you want to mimic the game conditions. You practice hard, you're gonna play hard. So to their credit, they do that. I just think that that just wasn't one of their games for a lot of different reasons. Again, the slow start, the altitude, the travel. Getting to Logan is not easy. You actually fly to Salt Lake and then you have to drive the 90 miles to the site, and it's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's not an easy site. There's a mountain involved, so you go the mountain, you go up the mountain, you go down the mountain, and so it's kind of a tough thing. But again, it's just a tough thing, but it also shows again what I kind of see some things, trends, at least in the Mountain West, is Utah State put after Hawaii, I think, won the title in 2010 or 2010, I think it was, the Mountain West title. Utah State put a lot of money into its program. A lot of schools around the league, San Jose State, San Diego State's building a new stadium. A lot of people are putting money into the product. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you know, you can't afford this, but you know what? If your competitors are doing this, if this is the biggest entertainment in Hawaii, you've got to put money into the product. And whether that means you got to raise more money, which I know that's tapped out stuff, it's a pandemic, but this legislature's got to help out, because, you know, this is football is the gateway to the university. Maybe that's sad. Maybe that's the way the priority shouldn't be, but it is. You know, you have a good football team, people are interested in your university, interested in the university experience. It helps other programs, helps other things. Again, maybe that's not the priority as it should be, but that's the way the reality is. And if all your competitors are doing that, you've got to keep up. And Hawaii used to be kind of a leader in it. It's not a leader in it anymore. You really got to pick it up. The state's got to help them out. The governor had to help them out by letting them have more fans in earlier. There's just a lot of things that could have made the season a little bit better, which just wasn't the case. And I think that's unfortunate, because the team is trying hard. People are trying hard. It's just that you're playing against competitors who are, I don't know, let's say, are trying a little harder or have more resources.
Yeah, you know, and those are the things that are out of our control, right, Stephen? And so what we can do is control what we can control. And that's showing up every day, working as hard as we possibly can. Like, honestly, we got to know, right? We got to have that integrity that we are doing everything that we can that's in our control. And we got to live with the results. And so, yeah, I see that. And I do believe that, yeah, I mean, Coach Todd Graham is doing his best. He is doing what he needs to do. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're not going to win every game. That's just what it is. But are we getting better? Are we making adjustments? Are we self-reflecting and looking and trying to see if we can do something different? You know, those are things that, again, are, as a fan, those are out of our control, right? So, no, yeah, I believe we have what it takes, Stephen. Moving forward, this is going to be an unbelievable atmosphere at the new, you know, Ching Field. And this season, I feel we're gonna finish strong. We have to. Our backs against the wall. We have to. There is no other way.
Well, you remember how it was in 2004. You had to win out. Remember that? 2004, people were getting on people, and even June was getting a little testy. But hey, you had to win out. You won out. Great ending, great fight, by the way, against. But it was Houston. I mean, it was just a great way. And that's what you do. Your back's against the wall. You got to win out. And another interesting thing about this team is, without Shevin in there was always a possibility, like, he might come back. He might come back. So when you're doing that every week, now you're kind of not giving whoever your starting quarterback all the reps. I mean, you're trying to be even, just in case. So essentially, they were going into the previous 2 or 3 weeks with 2 different game plans, whether Shevin plays or whether Braden Shager's a starter. Splitting. I think the team has to know who the guy is. I think the reps have to reflect who the guy's got to be. And now this week, there is no doubt it's going to be Shevin. Braden Shager's a good player. He's done tremendous things in his freshman year, but there's no doubt now. The team knows, everyone knows, the reps are going to be geared toward it. The practices are going to be geared toward it, that there was one guy. And you kind of knew how that was when you had Timmy Chang. With Timmy Chang, you need to know he was the guy every week. And I know you guys were the guys around him.
Oh, yeah.
But at least he had to know that. And I think it made him a better player when he knew that, and the team knew that this is our guy. This is the guy throwing us the ball.
Yeah, no, it helps. It does help with the continuity and the confidence, and, you know, it maximizes your reps. You know who's going to be the guy, and just, yeah, it flows better. So, yeah. Well, look, Stephen, man, that's all I got for today. That's all the time we got, man. We could sit here and chat. I know we've missed each other for a few weeks now, but it was great. It's always great talking to you. It's always great getting that insight. And hopefully, man, we finish the season strong and we end up in a bowl game right there on our home turf.
Sounds great. So that sounds a good plan. All right, Chad, thanks again for having me on.
All right, Stephen. Hey, happy Monday, brother. And we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Okay, aloha.
Bye.
And that is it for today's show. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy, CO2. And you're watching the CO2 Rundown. I thank you so much for all of you who tune in each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. All right, this is fun. I enjoy it. I love it. And I hope it's something fresh for you guys. I hope you guys feel my energy through the lens. And look, it's Monday. I'm trying to give you this energy because I knew in my mind that Mondays is the day to start fast, right? So here's all this energy. Get yourself going, and I will see you come Hump Day Wednesday.